This is a very important presentation for me because my mission is to save 1 million dads. And I lost my father, as you see pictured here. I lost him way, way too young. He died at the age of 63. I tell the story about my father as an amazing man. He was my hero. He was my inspiration. He's the reason I became a cardiologist. He was a cardiologist. I followed in his footsteps, went to the Chicago College of Osteopathic Medicine, 3 years of internal medicine, 3 years of cardiology, to become just like my dad. And as it became like my dad, my father got sick. And in his late 50s, early 60s, even the Cleveland Clinic had no idea what was happening with him. And then unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 63. And what happened to him created the man that I am today. And I am out on a mission to save 1 million dads. And not only just save the dads and the men in general for a long life, but a happy and healthy life. Ladies and gentlemen, we've worked so hard for our money. And when we get ready for retirement, it should be a time filled with health and vigor and vitality. And that's what I want to provide to you today in this conversation that we're going to have over the next half hour or so. And there'll be time for questions as well that I'll be happy to answer going forward. So what is the reality is that most doctors are not addressing the situation. I'm going to address the situation tonight, again, so you can live a happy and healthy life. We're going to talk about health and wellness, and in the end, I'm going to give you a big wrap up with testosterone, again, to maintain that vigor and do it in a healthy and a safe way. So men out there, are you struggling with these common complaints? Low energy, fatigue, feeling like you can't get out of bed in the morning, or as soon as you come home, you're ready to fall asleep right after dinner. Maybe it's the weekend and you're sitting in a chair and you fall asleep and doze off. Are you having trouble falling asleep, trouble staying asleep? Maybe you fall asleep pretty easy, but an hour or two later, you wake up and your mind is racing, or you can't figure out why you can't go back to sleep. Well, I've got some answers for you and some solutions for you. What about weight gain? Are you having issues with weight gain? Can't lose that weight, struggling to lose that weight? I want to help you with that as well. Now, here's, of course, a big one: low libido and erectile dysfunction. I've seen so many men over the years that just say they've got no interest in sex. When they get there, their penis, their male genitalia doesn't work well, or they have issues where they take Viagra, they take some form of booster of erectile function, but the interest still isn't there because they never fixed the brain part. They never fixed the libido part. The little brain, if you can imagine, was working, but the big brain was not. And if you're there and you have an erection, but you're not sure why you're there, that's a problem. What about men with anxiety and depression? All these things are so common, but they're all treatable. And the answer is not with pharmaceuticals. That's why I wrote a chapter in my book called One Nation Under Prozac, because the answer is not with Prozac. Now, of course, from a medical diagnosis standpoint, there's a lot of different possibilities here that people have. They've got hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol issues, obesity issues, heart failure, on and on and on. I mean, just you name it. It's all just a litany of medical diagnoses here that the men are suffering with. Now, my father, towards bottom right, he died of a Parkinson's-like illness. But there are so many different issues, whether it's from a cardiac standpoint, there's cancer on this list, dementia, lung disease, on and on and on, migraine headaches, arthritis. Again, men are surviving, but they're not thriving. And that is my goal, is to get them into the thriving situation. So remember, as we go along with this list, no matter what your complaint is, I know we're going to be able to hit it and really get you to understand where the problems are at. So, as a reminder, I am Dr. Jack Wolfson. I'm a board-certified cardiologist, one of the top 50 functional medicine doctors in the United States, according to drax.com. I'm a international best-selling author on Amazon, The Paleocardiologist, The Natural Way to Heart Health, and I'm also an international public speaker and educator. So again, there's so many different issues here, so many different problems that people have, and the medical doctors just don't get why. And I want to tell you exactly why. Now, again, the medical doctors don't know. This is the image of the thinker. This is Rodin's The Thinker. And we need to really sit back and we need to think about why this is happening to us. We need to sit back and think about how we can make a bigger difference. And again, there's no quick fix. There's no easy answer here, but the answers that I'm going to tell you going forward will no doubt make a big, big difference. And this depiction also by Rodin also shows us really is that how the quality of man thinking goes into, it's the brain, it's the muscles, it's everything involved, and how we can have vitality, and that's what we're looking for. Now, the answer, again, is not going to be found in the pill bottle. The low-dose aspirin was dead wrong. I wrote about this in my book back, a few years ago, and we're getting vindication now that aspirin for primary prevention is dead in the water. It is dangerous. It is useless. What about all the pharmaceuticals that are getting recalled, blood pressure drugs that are getting recalled? It is a major problem. All these different pharmaceuticals are not the answer. They never will be the answer to health and wellness. There is a much, much better way. Now, one thing, of course, I'm very passionate about is the statin drugs. And here we have pictured the all-hat trial. Now, this is from the Journal of the American Medical Association, Internal Medicine, 2017. And I'm showing you all this data because I want you to understand that the pharmaceuticals are not the key to men's health. The pharmaceuticals are not the key to vitality and vigor and longevity in a healthy way. They're not anti-aging. This is the statin trial in the biggest medical journal in the world from 2017. And you can see 18% more people died in the statin group over age 65. If you were older than 75, 34% more people died in the statin group. This is a monumental error that people are taking these pharmaceuticals. So again, don't stop any pharmaceuticals based on this presentation. Check with your doctor. If you're concerned, come out to Arizona and see me. And I will be more than happy to be your doctor. Now, when it comes to real health and wellness, when it comes to what's really important, we've got the 10 health commandments. This is what really matters, the 10 health commandments. And if we follow these tenets, we will get rid of all those diseases that I talked about: Parkinson's, diabetes, coronary disease, strokes, dementia, you name it. And this is how we are going to do it. And just to give a good rundown here, and this is in no particular order, and I'll dive into this stuff a little bit more, but even if you took a screenshot of this, even if you pulled out your cell phone, and of course we're going to have the replay on this, and it'll be available on YouTube, and it'll live on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, but the 10 health commandments: get responsible paleo foods, get sunshine, get sleep, get active, get hydrated with high quality water, get chiropractic care. As you know me, if you've heard my presentations before, I'm a big fan of getting chiropractic care and the chiropractor being your guide to health and wellness. You got to get rid of the stress. Stress is going to damage your body. Stress causes inflammation. Stress causes oxidative stress. Stress means you can't sleep. If you can't sleep, your body can't recover. If your body can't recover, you're not going to make testosterone. You're not going to make all the hormones necessary in the right amounts to get the job done. Next, you want to get away from the toxins, and we'll talk about that. Then I put in there, get grounded I could also, meaning walk, stand barefoot outside on the beach, in the grass. If you're from Arizona, you don't want to stand outside. The ground's hot and there's cactus everywhere. You don't want to step in a cactus. That would be bad. And then get tested with the most advanced testing in the world. I'm not talking about the 1970s tests. I'm talking about seeing a doctor who really knows what they're doing, seeing a doctor who can make a difference, seeing a doctor that can help you determine why you feel lousy, why you have these risk factors. You have to find a doctor of cause. Trust me, I was the average MD. I was the typical medical doctor. Quick in and out visits. Here's your prescription. Goodbye. And again, you want to get high quality supplements. Please remember that the supplements are super important, especially when it comes to high quality, supplements. And listen, you're worth it. I don't care what the supplements cost. You're worth it. I don't care what a visit to my office or any other visit costs. You're worth it. Invest the money in you, and you will live long, you will live happy, and you will be more successful. You will be more financially successful. You'll be more successful in your relationships with your family, relationships with your significant other, in all your relationships. Now, here's a depiction of my family sleeping, and I put this first because there's nothing more important than sleep. There is nothing more important that we're talking about than sleep. You have to get high quality sleep. Our ancestors went to sleep with the sun down and they woke with the sunrise. It is summertime now. Now we're going to be getting more sun and less sleep. So this time of year, typically we're in bed by about 9:30 at the latest, and we're waking up at around 5:30. In the wintertime, it is the reverse. In the wintertime, we're getting about 12 hours sleep because that's what nature demands. That's what nature commands. If you're interested in finding out why you feel lousy, why you're fatigued, the number one cause of fatigue is sleep disorder, not sleeping. When you are awake and you are in the artificial light, or you're watching TV, and the TV is meant to glue you onto it. The TV is meant to sell you fear, to keep you glued, so you can watch their commercials to sell you more drugs because you feel lousy. Can you imagine you're watching TV at midnight and there's a commercial that comes on about some kind of sleeping agent, some kind of pharmaceutical? It's not the answer. It's very destructive. You need to get away from that. You need to go to bed at the right time. I know society is against you, but listen, I saw a patient several weeks ago and he was telling me, he couldn't sleep. He was watching TV. There was some bombing somewhere on the other side of the world. I said, what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about a bombing on the other side of the world? I understand that it's horrible. I understand it's tragic, but the news is meant to sell you fear. It's one catastrophe after another. They can't wait for the catastrophe so they can promote it, make you fearful. And when you're fearful, you don't sleep. When you're fearful, you're under stress. And when you don't sleep and you're under stress, you get sick. You get cancer, you get diabetes, you get heart disease, you get anxiety, depression, you get bowel issues, you name it, and then they're willing to sell you the pharmaceuticals. So please, whatever time you typically go to sleep earlier. Make a commitment. If it's not at sundown, then make it an hour earlier than where it currently is. Now, speaking of the sun, there is nothing more important than the sun. Our ancestors have been out in the sun for millions of years. We were born into the sun. We go to sleep with the sun down. We awake with the sunrise, before the sunrise, and then we're in and out of the sun all day long. Now, this is from a journal in 2018. This is hot off the press. Vitamin D status and mortality. The higher your vitamin D, the lower your chances of dying by a big amount. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean take vitamin D supplements. It means you have to get vitamin sunshine. You get the D from the sun. Now, interestingly, and you've heard me talk about this before, if you've got high cholesterol, typically that goes along with low vitamin D. So what do? You get the sun, it turns all that cholesterol into vitamin D. So your cholesterol goes down, your vitamin D levels go up, and you live. Your brain, your body, everything is dependent on living with nature. And that's one premise. If you take one thing out of this, take that comment, live with nature, live with nature, live with nature, please. So again, you want to be smart about the sun. You want to make sure that you get out and get a little bit of morning sun, noontime sun, afternoon sun, sunburn bad, sunshine good. And then, of course, we've got a page on our website called What We Use, and we've got the best sunscreen recommendations there for you. So please, once again, get out there in the sunshine, and you will do very well. Anybody who tells you that the sun is a problem, run away from them. Actually, the sun decreases cancer risk, decreases heart disease risk, decreases dementia risk, decreases autoimmune disease risk. Get as much sun to your body as possible. And speaking of testosterone, do you think it would be beneficial to get sunshine where it's really never been before? And that is on your male genitalia. And that works for females too, by the way. So here's another picture of my beautiful family. My gorgeous wife is pregnant in this picture. We've got a baby girl, of course, since then. And this really is that a couple different things I want to talk about this slide. Live, laugh, and love. Get the stress out of your life. Enjoy life. Laughter has been said forever that it is the best medicine, and it's totally true. I love listening to the comedy channels on satellite radio. And then you have to love. You have to love one another. You have to love family. You have to love friends. And if they're not capable of love, or if there's no love in that situation, well, then you need to get removed from that situation. But those that you do share love with and you do share harmony with, you need to make sure that you show that. And sometimes as we get older, and I've seen this so many times in my patients, that it just seems like a lot of the love is gone from their relationship. And some of that may happen because of low libido, because of erectile dysfunction. Don't let that, men, get you down or your relationship down. You can still hold hands. You can still kiss. You can still caress and cuddle. You can still satisfy your mate in other ways, even though you may be struggling with these issues. Communication is key. And again, everybody is capable of holding another one's hand, and the touch and the feel is oh so important. And then also on the slide, I want to say, get active and get outdoors. Get out on the beach, get out in the sun, get out in the grass, just get outside. Everything in nature is outside. All the plants are outside. All of the animals are outside. All of the animals and fish in the sea are outside. Humans are the only ones that are cooped up inside, and we've got all the sickness. Nature doesn't have the sickness. We've got the sickness, so make sure that you get outside. So what I've told you so far is that sleep is the most important thing. Sunshine comes next. Being outside and living with love and gratitude and appreciation of one another. That is much, much, much more important than food. Do you believe it? I said that, and I'm the cardiologist. Those other things, there's nothing more important than sleep. If you are sleep deprived, you're done. If you are not out in the sun, like a plant, you wither up and die. If you don't have relationships, the studies are very clear. Again, you will not do well. But when it comes to food, you know my stance. I am the cardiologist. Paleo is the ancestral diet, hunter-gatherer diet that we've been following for millions and millions of years. Don't argue with Mother Nature. Don't try and be a vegan. Don't try and be a vegetarian. Don't try and reinvent the diet. We are hunter-gatherers. I've interviewed people. I've read the paleontology books. I've read the anthropology books. I've read the archaeology texts. We are hunter-gatherers. This is just common sense type stuff. Now, what is on the pyramid is what is healthy. Of course, vegetables, free-range grass-fed meats, wild seafood. Seafood and organ meats are the two healthiest foods on the planet. Eggs are right up there. Avocado, coconut, olives, nut seeds, cooking in animal fats, you can top with olive oil, grapeseed oil, some of the nut oils. Coconut oil is very good as well. And then fruit in season. I wrote a blog post recently about the problems with overdoing it with fruit. Be careful with that. On the left, there's the kicker. Free-range grass-fed meats, wild seafood, organic, organic, organic. If it's sprayed with pesticides, it kills pests and it kills our gut bacteria and changes our gut microbiome, leading to leaky gut, which eventually will lead to disease. Shopping local whenever possible. Top right, quality water. I'm a huge fan of our system that we use in our office, which is Pristine Hydro system, under-the-counter system. They have a travel system. We got those for sale on our website with amazing prices, and just every patient who's ever purchased that, every internet person who's ever purchased it, just absolutely loves it. The people at great service out in California. Spices, spice. Not necessarily spicy. Open up the spice drawer, dump it in your food, and amazing things happen. The spice drawer is nature's pharmacy. Those are nature's pharmaceuticals that the pharmaceutical companies took, they tweaked, they hacked them, they studied them, and then they made a $1 trillion industry out of what we can do from food. We do not need the pharmaceuticals, if I haven't said it enough yet. Fermented foods. We've got kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha. Those fermented foods are loaded with good bacteria that colonize our gut and they just do it. Remember this, our bodies are made up of 10 trillion cells. There's 100 trillion bacteria in our guts. 100 trillion, 10 times more than cells in our body. Don't forget it. The organ meats, liver, kidney, adrenal. I'm going to come up with a post real soon about something I call the Hulk food. And Hulk, heart, liver, kidney. And then I throw in my daily greens so it turns a little bit greenish. That is the Hulk food. And you eat that and you will live a long time. Our baby eats it. The dog, forget about it. The dog absolutely positively loves it. Free-range grass-fed organs. According to Bill Schindler, PhD in anthropology, in our discussions, he was telling that to me, is that is what led to the explosion of the mammalian brain over 3 million years ago. Prior to that, we had been eating fruits, vegetables, all plant food and insects. And then once we started to eat the organ meats, that's when things exploded. And of course, to make it super simple on you, we've got our paleo multi as well. So I'm mentioning a lot of products here that you can search around on our website, and I'll try and put these links into the comment section when we are done with this presentation. Okay, so I've pretty much talked all about paleo, and we're good on that, and hopefully we get a good understanding. And of course, I talk about it in my book amongst all these other things that I mention in my book. And everything I'm mentioning, this is all about the vitality. When you eat the right foods and you get the sun and you get the sleep and you get love and you get outdoors and all that kind of stuff, good things happen to your body. That's better than any pharmaceutical. Another thing you need to do is to get out of the chemical soup that you live in. And I did for Earth Day in April, I did another presentation you can find on the website and find on YouTube. Look at this here from pubmed.gov on the bottom of this picture here, where I searched air pollution. 73,000 studies came up in the medical literature. Air pollution is outdoors. The outdoor air pollution, Phoenix, New York, Hong Kong, Tokyo, LA, Chicago, Boston, you name it. These are poisoned, polluted cities. And it is all linked to dementia, atrial fibrillation, coronary disease, and low testosterone. All of these chemicals, all of these toxins interfere with the body's natural function. For example, everything I've mentioned so far to this point all increases inflammation. And if you have inflammation, then you do not make testosterone. But that pollution does not just reside outside, it also resides inside of your house. Laundry detergents, fabric softeners, dryer sheets, Glade plugins, new mattress, new paint, new flooring, new cabinetry, mold. Get a mold inspection, get mold tested. Call us. We can help you. Come see myself. Come see my nurse practitioner. Talk to my staff. Talk to one of my health coaches. We can do it. We totally can do this. Again, if your testosterone is low, why? If your libido is low, why? If you have any form of disease, why? That is what we want to know. Always be asking why. As my friend, the late Dr. John D'Onofrio always said, he was known as Dr. One More Step. Always take one more step to try and figure out why. Now, you may remember this scene in the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks and the volleyball Wilson. If we lived on the island that Tom Hanks was on, we went to sleep with the sun down. We woke up before the sunrise. We saw the sunrise. We spent the day in and out of the sun. There was no pollution, no chemicals, and all we did was eat coconuts, fish, and vegetables in an environment where the only stress was finding food and shelter. If we lived like this with Tom Hanks on that island, we would live forever. There's no reason why we would die. The caveman did not die. There's plenty of cave people still around on planet Earth, and they are doing just fine. We want to find that island as much as possible. You cannot get healthy in the same environment where you got sick. Find your island, find your island, find your island, please. Now, you may remember this politician from a few years ago, and I'm not going to play partisan politics. It's not my game. But Bob Dole was well known for being a spokesperson for erectile dysfunction and the pharmaceutical Viagra. But again, Bob Dole, I don't know him personally. I'm not speaking to him, but let's just say the Bob Doles around the world in general, the problem is they were not leading the healthy lifestyle. Everything that I said above, you can rest assured Bob Dole didn't do much of what I said. Now, when it comes to erectile dysfunction, when it comes to libido, testosterone is kind of front and center. Testosterone is often abbreviated T. When you have low T, you have a higher risk of everything with low T. Higher risk of heart attack, strokes, cardiovascular disease, atrial fibrillation, congestive heart failure, diabetes, erectile dysfunction, low libido, also dementia, prostate enlargement, bone loss and osteoporosis, and of course, dyslipidemia. Higher risk of obesity. And then what happens is that obesity drives low T because fat converts testosterone into estrogen. So now you're getting fatter and your testosterone's dropping, and then you're getting fatter and your testosterone's dropping more, and then you get fatter. It just goes on and on and on. It just seems to be a never-ending problem. So when it comes, again, to low testosterone, we want to go back to our basics. We want to go back to what I told you to take a screenshot of. We want to go back to the 10 health commandments. This is absolutely critical to where we are at. Your testosterone can be fixed without testosterone injections, without testosterone pellets. This is the stuff you need to do first. Otherwise, you are in danger of bad things happening with testosterone. I've seen so many men over the years that were started on testosterone and they had a heart attack or a stroke or atrial fibrillation afterwards. Number one, because the body was not prepared by following the 10 health commandments. Number two, they were not monitored appropriately. So please make sure you are in the hands of someone who knows what they are doing. Now, when it comes to getting active in physical activity, we would like, honestly, to get outside and to get outdoors and run and hike and bike and garden and do yoga outside. This picture is an activity that I'd like to see you do, and push-ups and pull-ups and squats and lunges. But this man I want to highlight here, he's indoors. He's in the artificial light. All the chemicals that are on that floor or in that gym, these are all a problem. So I'm not saying never go to the gym. I'm just saying the majority of your physical activity should be outside. You should never be inside running on a treadmill. You can run outdoors. The only reason to be inside would be if you want to lift weights, if you're at a CrossFit or if you're indoor at a yoga studio. But this time of year, coming up in the summertime, try and find that outdoor activity. So I think we pretty much summarized everything we can do from a nutritional standpoint. We want to do the most advanced testing in the world to determine your total testosterone, your free testosterone, your sex hormone binding globulin, your estradiol levels. This is what we want to know. Now, when it comes to evidence-based supplements, I really think this one is the granddaddy as far as the production of testosterone, because it clears out all the other bad stuff. It clears out the toxins. It clears out the chemicals. It clears out the plastics. Daily Defense clears out what is causing interference with testosterone production. Oh, by the way, Daily Defense is delicious. This is Jack Wolfson giving you a license and a prescription to drink a shake for breakfast or before a workout or after a workout. That is what you want to do, and it's delicious and it's amazing, and it is available on our shop site. I created it from scratch. I've got the best company that makes it. New Zealand grass-fed whey is the main protein. The product is a multivitamin. It's got so many different vitamins and minerals in there, including plenty of potassium that's in there, plenty of magnesium in usable forms to get the job done. It's loaded with zinc. Everybody knows that eating oysters is an aphrodisiac. Why? Because it's high in zinc. And what does zinc do? It helps make testosterone in the literature. Zinc, zinc, zinc. All the protein that are in there, the New Zealand grass-fed whey protein is a fantastic source of those amino acids that are going to help be building blocks to make testosterone and to do some fantastic things. And also in the product, we've got phase 1, phase 2 liver detoxifiers. We've got binders that help bind up toxins in the gut so you flush them out the other side. Anti-inflammatories, as I said, antioxidants, amino acids, digestive enzymes, prebiotics, you name it, great for cholesterol. It is, if you take one supplement, that would be it. Now, if you're looking for the erectile function, if you're looking for natural Viagra, we've got a combination for you, and we call that product that you've probably seen before, heard about before, we call that product the B juice. And the B juice, B of course stands for boner, if you will, and the boner juice is something that helps promote healthy blood flow. It boosts nitric oxide levels. And what I do with this combination is I throw it into my Daily Defense. I also throw some daily greens in there. So that's my organic greens powder. And that's my shake in the morning. That is so often my breakfast or a mid-afternoon snack. I don't need the coffee in the afternoon like I used to. You know, if you know me, I tell the story. I used to drink Mountain Dew, and then it was Diet Mountain Dew and some kind of pick-me-up and tons of sugar. This product I created, very, very, very low sugar, 1 gram of sugar in the Daily Defense, and we've got the bee juice, the boner juice. I apologize if this offends you, but this is a men's health lecture, and the bee juice is what does it. And we got a deal when you get the heartbeat and the vessel support combination. If you go to that link there, or you go to our shop page and you get the nitric oxide booster. The heartbeat is just all organic products to help boost up. And it's basically, like I said, it's nature's Viagra. This is 2 different ways to increase nitric oxide. That's the purpose of Viagra, to increase nitric oxide. And we do it here naturally and healthy and without the nasty side effects of what Viagra and others can do. So once again, adding this to the Daily Defense, I think it's a great start to your day. It's got calories. It's a meal replacement. It's something that is really, really useful. So now once you've done all these things, so you're eating the right foods and you're getting the sleep and you're getting the sunshine, you get rid of stress. Who's got libido if they're under stress, whether it's financial stress, family stress, work stress? I mean, you're not going to have libido for that. You got to get that out of your life. That's why everybody knows why libido, erectile function, it's always better on vacation. Once you've done everything and your testosterone is still low and you're exhibiting symptoms of low T, fatigue, weight gain, low energy, low muscle mass, low libido, erectile dysfunction. Now you can reach for testosterone. After we've given your body everything it needs and your body is primed and your mind is primed and you're still having an issue, well, now we've got the testosterone story. Now we've got the ability to use some form of testosterone therapy, whether it's pellets or creams or the injectable. I happen to be a fan of the injectable at this time. The others have benefits for a variety of reasons, but I think the most effective, the most efficacious, the most studied is probably the injectable. And this is where men can inject this in the subcutaneous tissue. They don't have to inject it into muscle. This is done once weekly. Testosterone levels have to be monitored by someone who knows what they're doing. You have to look at estradiol levels, what happens after testosterone, total testosterone, free testosterone, estradiol levels to make sure you're not converting too much into estrogen, which will have a whole host of nasty effects. And then also sex hormone binding globulin is something that you want to check. But I think the problem is that when you don't prime the system, you don't get the results that you need with testosterone. And testosterone, some doctors say it's a cure-all. It's not. It is, I believe, when it's done in the right hands, when you're primed first. It's like the primer and the paint. You don't just start painting with color. You put the primer on the wall first, whatever kind of analogy you want to use. Because this study showed from JAMA, and this, once again, people running away from testosterone. Testosterone did not improve brain function in these men who were on it. So testosterone is not the answer for brain function unless you prime the system. In a scary fashion as well, testosterone, when given to men with low or low normal testosterone levels, actually, not only did it not do anything good for plaque formation, it actually made the situation worse. So these men are not patients of Dr. Jack Wolfson. I think, once again, that if we do things right about 90% of the time and we make you the best version of you, if your testosterone is still low and you're exhibiting symptoms, now it's time for testosterone once you've been made into your best. And then, of course, again, another study that showed actually testosterone treatment this is from the journal JAMA in 2016, the biggest journal in the world. Testosterone treatment and coronary plaque volume in older men with low testosterone. Testosterone gel increased coronary artery plaque volume compared to placebo. Now, we can debate these studies or not. The point I'm trying to make, I'm not trying to tell you to stay away from testosterone. I'm just telling you it has to be done the right way by someone who knows what they are doing. Now, there are some supplements that can be very useful in this arena. There's not very many supplements that actually help to boost testosterone levels. But things that we can do are to actually decrease that conversion of testosterone into estrogen. Those are called aromatase inhibitors, of which on top there, chrysin is probably the big one. Quercetin, which is found in red wine, but I would tell you to eat grapes, eat other citrus, eat other sources of quercetin. Probably the best one is the berry called a caper. That's why we have a salad dressing recipe where we throw the capers in there as well. So quercetin does very well, and there's supplements that contain quercetin. Nettles are known to decrease sex hormone binding globulin and to free up testosterone from the sex hormone binding globulin. Fish and fish oil, this is another perfect opportunity to decrease sex hormone binding globulin so you get more free testosterone. Eat seafood. We talked about the benefits of zinc in testosterone production. So when you eat oysters, live longer, love longer, last longer, all those phrases that the seafood restaurants use, they're all totally true. And then, of course, protein is what you want to take, because protein, in my daily defense, New Zealand grass-fed protein shake mix, helps to form testosterone by giving you the proteins your body needs to get the job done, and you get some fantastic things. So come on over to our website. We've got a special going on right now. Give dad or give yourself my book, The Paleo Cardiologist, for Father's Day. All you got to do is pay shipping and handling. You can all the information that you need. It's all in my book. So many of the things that I've talked about are going to be in my book. This is our brand new website. It's got more information. It's got health articles. It's got blogs. It's got this huge search button up on the right. It looks beautiful on mobile. And we've got just tons of free information, free, health, safe, efficacious information from a cardiologist and a doctor of chiropractic wife. That is my beautiful bride, Dr. Heather, the inspiration. So let's save 1 million dads. Help me save 1 million dads. Help me save you. Stick with me, and we got this. We can save your dad from suffering the fate of my father. We can save you from suffering the fate of my father. We're going to save me from suffering the fate of my father. May he rest in peace. My father's loss created the man that I am today. So all the things we talked about, I'm going to put into the notes on Facebook in the comments section. And then here, of course, is the website, thedoctorswolfson.com. We've got our email address whenever you want to email me, health@thedoctorswolfson.com. Doctors is abbreviated DRS. And then you can always call us, of course, if you want to come. I am seeing patients. Come on out to Arizona. I get the best health care in the entire world and make an appointment. So Shannon Hubbard, thank you. And I'm going to put in there our web address, of course, for you. There we go. We got the information for you. And I want to thank you for being on this presentation.